Hello everyone, and a happy late Easter for all of you who celebrated it. Today I have a video that is vastly different from the normal content that I produce. In this video, I will be taking a look at the Devil May Cry Yamato sword replica that was handmade by the company Ryan Sword. This is a 1095 high carbon steel blade that emulates the look and feel of the blade from the game. I reached out to them to do a review on one of their swords, and they gladly allowed me to take a look at this well-known blade in the gaming scene. A quick disclaimer though, I am no way a weapons expert on traditional Japanese blades, nor do I claim to be. This is my interpretation based on prior knowledge and what has been provided to me. First off, the specifications of the blade are what we'll look at. The overall length being 103 centimeters, and the handle being made of hardwood plus genuine ray skin. I am personally not an expert on blade parts pertaining to katanas, nor do I know the traditional names, but here's the complete list of specifications for this blade in particular on screen now. Starting off with the aesthetic, if we were to compare it to its in-game counterpart, it almost appears to be a hybrid of the new design from the recently released Devil May Cry 5 and the previous iterations from the 3rd and 4th game. The weaving pattern on the Suka is closer to the newer game's design as opposed to the old ones, though I can understand why it's not a body-for-body replica of the in-game model due to the weaving pattern being completely unique in-game, and it would be very difficult to replicate it in a real-world sword without proper attention to detail. What I personally enjoy about this iteration is that even the dragon symbol is present on the decals of the sword, and it doesn't feel like it was cheaply plastered on. It has weight to it and doesn't feel loosely attached to the Suka of the sword. However, one complaint I do have is that the scabbard has a lightning bolt pattern at the very bottom that appears to be extremely loose, and you can see a dried substance on the interior that appears on first glance to be glue. However, as I'm not familiar with how these parts are constructed and added to these blades, it could be something drastically different. Moving along the scabbard, the metal piece that attaches the white cloth is loose and it's not properly positioned, though I can forgive this due to it being shipped overseas and it could have gotten messed up on the process of being shipped. Lastly, on the scabbard, I'd like to point out this part here, where the blade is drawn and put back in. This metal piece had fallen off multiple times and made it very difficult to actually draw the sword. As I don't have footage for this, I can describe it as the blade feeling jammed in the scabbard, and it took force to actually remove it. And as far as I know, when it comes to traditional Japanese blades, they're known for their ease of access, and drawing them should be as easy as the flick of a finger. As I've studied this blade, it's almost beneficial for me to keep this piece off of it entirely, as drawing and returning the sword to the scabbard is far easier without it. Overall, the scabbard serves its purpose, but the decals and metal pieces do take away a few points from me. Now let's take a look at the blade itself. The blade itself is 71 centimeters and has a lovely shine to it. I have a few knives and swords collected over time, and none of them even compare to the shine this one has. The pattern on the sword is a nice touch, as this was also present in the in-game Yamato as well. I can confirm that this blade was sharpened, and taking it out the first time, it looked ready to cut anything I put in front of it. But since I don't currently have any means of actually testing the blade's strength, I unfortunately have to not include that in the video. Ryan Sword was also generous enough to give me a lovely sword bag to go with it, and a certificate of authenticity with various information on the sword's construction that you can see here. As I stated with the dragon pattern on the handle, the patterns on the rest of the blade also look very well crafted. There are many cheap cosplay swords of this particular blade that try to emulate the in-game feel, but in my experience with this Yamato, I can say without a doubt that this is the best Yamato replica that is functional as a real sword that I've ever seen. A quick note though, Ryan Sword offers a customization service for most of their orders, so many of my criticisms here can be remedied. Props to Ryan Sword for crafting such an amazing blade. Overall, I will give this blade an 8.5 out of 10. Primarily due to the issues with the scabbard, though easily a 9 had the scabbard been a bit more stable. So this has been my review of the Ryan Sword Yamato replica. Thank you all for watching, and thank you Ryan Sword for allowing me to review and showcase one of my favorite blades from all of fiction and bringing it into the real world. Thank you all for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.